Well, good afternoon. My name is Michael Robert and I will be bringing you the news updates at 1. Starting things off, it is impeachment season with Rigathi Gachagua on the hot seat. We begin our top stories with headlines from Kibwezi West, where MP Mwengi Mutuse, who yesterday tabled an impeachment motion on Rigathi Gachagua in the National Assembly.
In prosecuting this motion, it will be remembered that we gave the notice of motion on Tuesday 1st, 2024, and the House also takes public notice that law and procedurally, the Deputy President did address the nation yesterday, and therefore, part of what he said may form part of what I will be talking about. The standard, I am prepared this morning to discharge my burden of proof, because he who alleges must also prove. And I am ready to discharge it to the required threshold. That this is an historical moment and it is also a constitutional moment, because Kenya, under the 2010 Constitution, has never dealt with the impeachment of a deputy president. However, we have dealt in numerous times with the impeachment of governors.
Mnasema William Ruto ni bure, hawezi, mnaita yeye majina, alafu akipata, akigawa, mnapiga laini atibuko pale mbele. Ati mnataka mpite wale walisema anafaa atibukue pale mbele. Inawezekana? Mimi kazi yangu pale kwa Ikulu ni hiyo. Ni kupanga hiyo laini. Hapo ni kazi mimi napanga hapo. Mimi naangalia kwa laini, nikiona wewe ulipanda, napitoa wewe nyuma, napeleka wewe mbele.
He went to Nandi and told the people of Nandi that they are a major shareholder and they will benefit more than others in this government. And he has been using the language in direct reference to communities, not to political party formations. In prosecuting this motion, it will be remembered that we gave the notice of motion on Tuesday 1st, 2024, and the House also takes public notice that law and procedurally, the Deputy President did address the nation yesterday, and therefore, part of what he said may form part of what I will be talking about. The standard.
Following his alleged accusation in the National Assembly, Rigathi Gachagua presented evidence Rigathi Gachagua presented evidence to counter his impeachment on the 11 grounds that he was charged on. Here is the story.
I'm sorry, Mr. Speaker, if the House took it that I say the House is a theater of the absurd. I was talking about this specific charge of undermining devolution by holding meetings to fight alcohol to be discussed in this House. That to me is what I thought that moment. If it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes, that would be the theater of the absurd. President William Ruto, my boss, and I have been calling out senior government officials when they fall short of expectations. The Director General of the National Intelligence Service is no exception. He's not above the law. He's accountable to the people of Kenya for his performance. And I have had an argument that we should not call out those in the security sector. I would like you to play the next video.
We have the most incompetent Inspector General of Police, I think, in the world. The most incompetent in the whole world. His incompetence may not necessarily play out when things are working, but when things get to a head and you need some decisions to be made, I can tell you for sure, the gentleman we have as an IG cannot make any decision.
Honorable members, that was President William Ruto as Deputy President, criticizing IG Mutua, DCI Kinoti. Rigathi Gachagua has learned his job from his boss. In accordance with Article 2 of the Power Sharing Agreement, ANC at Fort Kenya would have a 30% share is a word, of the national government positions. This drives my utterances about shareholding. It is embedded in all these agreements. I want to confirm that I have tremendous respect for Kenyan women, and I have never disrespected them. What has happened is that as politicians, there is always propaganda to undermine somebody. I call upon anybody with evidence that I have ever disrespected that person to come out and provide that evidence. I'm not involved in procurement processes of my office, whether directly or indirectly. I would also like to state that I do not know the company, AgroPric Investments Limited, which undertook the renovations. I do not know the directors and the company. I did not participate in the tendering or supervising of the same. Over of the motion has listed the 22 companies associated with me and has alleged that they have been used to massively launder money and conceal proceeds of crime, corruption, and benefit from influence peddling. I've carefully gone through the motion and I have not seen any evidence to support or prove the allegations therein. It is not clear to me how to respond without having seen any evidence incriminating the companies. Finally, the Honorable Bose Sholei, I heard what you said in Eldoret. I heard this morning that you said I should be charged with treason. But my sister, me, I'm a grateful man. I remember, and I'll never forget, during the last administration when I was arrested on fabricated charges for starting with the President William Ruto against the wish of the government at that time, Gladys Bose Sholei came and sat with me at DCI headquarters, brought me tea, brought me lunch, sat with me, comforted me. At court, she coordinated the collection of 12.5 billion shillings as my cash bail. She came to see me in Gigiri for 4 days and had very kind words for me. Despite what you have said, my sister, I do remember that one good thing that you did for me, and I'll love you and cherish you for the rest of my life. Finally, Mr. Speaker, as I wind up,
after a grueling 7 hours, the National Assembly impeached Rigathi Gachagua with 281 members voting yes, 44 members voting no, and 1 member abstaining from the vote. Now, it is a matter of waiting to see if the Senate upholds the National Assembly's decision to impeach the Deputy President. Here is the report.
He who insults the jury deserves no mercy from the jury. His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua has insulted you before Kenyans. I urge you to rise up to the occasion.
The Deputy President accused the Director General of NIS of providing faulty intelligence and firing some senior officers. It is wrong. In fact, it is juvenile. It reveals him as a person who is unhinged and cannot control their tongue.
There is no other reason that has brought us here, Honorable Speaker. It is to protect the family that is being disinherited of their property under coercion, blackmail, and threats. The Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, after being charged with the responsibility of making sure that we have guaranteed minimum returns for those farmers, he continued to go and give guaranteed minimum returns to himself.
He has no respect for women whatsoever. He has made a scathing public attacks on a woman High Court judge.
That in circumstances of combat, a bystander is at greater risk than a combatant. You must choose your side. When you say kufa dereva kufa makanga, you must remember that in that bus there are passengers.
Please take the honorable route that some of your predecessors had taken, like Jaramogi, and step down from this position of presidency.
Is a member, Honorable Kajiang, in order to say that there is a mentality that the Deputy President has a mentality to eat? Does he have any gadget to measure mentality?
We don't, as a House, go for what I'll call mob justice mentality, and at the end of the day, the other stages, we lose it.
Here is somebody who literally, when this country is on the brink of certain serious problems, goes to Mombasa, and many of us believe that he was part of the so-called whatever, the riots that were there and the goons that attacked Parliament. And then he creates a parallel press conference in Mombasa in which he castigates the policies of his own boss. His own boss. Mr. Speaker, this man is bad for this country. There is need, this man is a heartbeat away from the president. God forbid, if anything were to happen to our president, he is the president. He is a danger. There will be no Kenya.
Order, members. Order. Members, the results of the division on the motion are as follows. Abstentions, 1. The noes, 44. The ayes, 281. So the ayes have it.
Now, away from matters impeachment, the Cabinet Secretary Justin Muturi pledges to increase youth empowerment and NYS efficiency during the occasion at the NYS headquarters in Ruaraka, Nairobi. The Cabinet Secretary pledged to improve the youth empowerment and service efficiency. This is the report.
I come to this institution at a time when we are globally celebrating the Customer Service Week, which I had the honor to launch yesterday with our Huduma Kenya service. As a service-oriented organization, it is important to embrace this year's Customer Service Week theme, which is above and beyond. I urge that all of us who serve Mwananchi with utmost professionalism, which I have witnessed here, diligence, efficiency, prudence, and hard work, as we are timely and above and beyond expectations of the citizens of our beloved country. I recognize that sometimes that the service faced significant challenges, including weak systems, uncertainty, and damaged public image. I'm happy, as the chairman has just stated, and the CG, that all that is now behind us. So no matter the challenges that we have in the country, we must ensure that what we have set ourselves to do as the National Youth Service is achieved and delivered for the benefit of our great nation. By His Excellency the President, we will deliver the service to significantly reduce the staffing challenges that have been experienced in the recent past. These challenges notwithstanding, therefore, it is my undertaking to you to ensure that the National Service has the budgetary support, and the resources and assistance and government goodwill required for you to deliver what you envision, as well as the hopes and aspirations of our young people and the nation at large. Additionally, the service has been called upon to support the restoration of the Nairobi Rivers Basin as part of the Climate Works Initiative. I strongly encourage the management to diligently implement these activities, as they are essential not only for the environmental sustainability of our country, but also for securing a healthier and more resilient future for our nation. The NYS, which we envision for this country, is one that is truly, as the chairman correctly pointed out, disciplined, patriotic, and efficient in its execution of the various mandates.
Now on matters education, speaking at the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development during the opening of Kenya's national chapter of School Meals Coalition, Principal Secretary Kipsang declared that the government has tripled the program's funding, going from 2 billion to 6 billion for the 2023 to 2024 fiscal year, in order to assure its success. up to the year 2030.
This has been running since 1980, and it has successfully supported so many young people to, one, as a pull factor to go to school and therefore increased access. Two is retention. And three is that it's been possible for these children to concentrate in their learning, given that they have had a meal. More so, it has also affected so much the culture, because usually the first person to be pulled out of the class when we have food insecurity is our culture, because they'll be going out there supporting their households in looking for food. We are now moving from the traditional ways in which we prepare this food into climate smart ways in which we cook. Today, if you go to Nairobi School, we have a steam cooking system, which we are running away from firewood. We have one in Kwale. We have quite a number of schools now that are moving away from biomass, focus more on what we call homegrown school meals program, where we aggregate food from the farmers into a central place and then buy this particular food for the farmer. So it will be both an economic empowerment to the local communities.
We are heading for a first short break, and when we come back, sports news with yours truly, so do not go anywhere.
Je, wewe ni mfanyabiashara katika sekta ya elimu, afya bora, usafiri ama unamiliki kampuni yoyote ile? Ungependa kupata fursa ya kutangaza biashara yako ili kuwafikia wateja zaidi? Usikonde. Runinga ya Younib inakupa fursa ya kupeperusha matangazo kuhusu bidhaa na huduma unazotoa kwa bei nafuu. Kwa maelezo zaidi, wasiliana nasi kupitia nambari za simu 0750344700 ama kupitia barua pepe marketing@younibtv.com. Jinyakulie leo. Younib TV, ever the best.
Welcome back. Now on sports news, the FKF elections continue to gain attention as more nominees continue to throw their hats in the ring. The initial applicant list is scheduled to be issued on October 21st, and the verification procedure is scheduled to take place between October 18th and 19th. The county representative elections on November 9th will mark the beginning of the election process. Here is the news.
Nimekuja hapa kuhakikisha kilio cha Wakenya kinafika mwisho. Kule mashinani tunataka tuanzie kule mashinani, mpira utembee, na tuseme kwamba zile stadium ambazo zijajengwa tuhakikishe, tumeambia serikali pia tuhakikishe stadium ziko ready. Sijakuja kama project mingi zinatumika na wale watu wana njaa. Mimi sina njaa, mimi nimeshiba na mimi najua kufanya kazi. So yoyote yule anafikiri ni mchezo, angoje kwa debe ataona kwamba tuko pale pamoja. Referees vile wamekuwa kiumia, tuhakikishe referees wamepata pesa zao. Mkiona mwendwa mwambie akuje, lakini kitu tunajua sheria inasema kwamba amesimama atamu zake ngapi? 2. Kwa hivyo atakiwa aonekane katika election. Na waziri wa sports aliongea vizuri Murkomen. Akasema kwamba akamwambia kwa macho, mwendwa siku zako zilifanya nini? Ilisha.
Na ukiangalia wale candidate wengine wanaweza pia kuwa locked out ikiwa sheria ile itafatwa ya eligibility. Na sisi tunaamua kwamba lazima tuwaondoe pale Kandanda House kwa umoja wetu na wenu.
Time is not on our side. So information flow from the board needs to improve. And I think we are now getting very worried. We are asking the electoral board, where are the polling centers of the upcoming elections? Is the board going to go to the grassroots to get the club verification process done? And number 3, what format of petitions are they going to accept from branches that are not happy with the voter register? So for me, I want to urge the board to be very clear in their communication, to be very transparent in how they are managing the elections.
Our role is to deliver elections that are not only free, fair and transparent, but also credible and verifiable. That is very key to us. The electoral board will be housed at Kandanda House. So there's a section that the FKF has graciously given to us, and it is within the remits of the regulations. So we'll be seated there with a very independent team that will help us deliver this.
Can you give an assurance to the country that you are actually going to sort out our football?
Mr. Speaker,
we were a better footballing nation 20 years ago than we are today, because of sheer mismanagement of football in the country.
I have made it clear.
And when we were vetting you, you gave us that assurance. Can you assure this House and the country
Mr. Speaker,
that you are going to sort out the mess in football and take back Kenya to its level as a footballing nation?
And the election process that we are undertaking, Mr. Speaker, we want to be as transparent as possible to make sure that those who come in will make sure that they follow the narrow path, Mr. Speaker, to make sure that our football is managed well. And the eligibility of those who have held office for more than 2 terms, a letter went out from the registrar expressly to FKF that only those, no one will run for the same office more than 2 terms under the Sports Act. And that is very clear. And I believe that the officials of FKF who are holding office now, if they want to run for office, maybe to run for a different office other than the one they have served for more than 2 terms, so that we can keep within our legal standards, Mr. Speaker.
And now on our final story, football legend Andreas Iniesta has declared his retirement from the game on Monday. Iniesta confirmed his retirement with a brief social media video. The 40-year-old earned 4 Champions League title crowns, 9 La Liga titles with Barcelona, the World Cup, and back-to-back European Championships with Spain in 2008 and 2012. During his time at Barcelona, Iniesta was one of the players that, according to Manchester City coach Pep Guardiola, changed the way that he saw the game. Here is the story.
Nunca pensé que llegaría este día. Realmente nunca lo imaginé. Pero sí que todas estas lágrimas que hemos echado durante todos estos días, durante el día de hoy, pues son lágrimas de emoción, de orgullo, no son lágrimas de tristeza.
Is another part of that history that Barcelona lived in the last 15-20 years is not would have not been possible without without him. So I just can say thank you, because he helped me. The people believe the manager helped the players but in few cases, and I think Andres is one of them. He helped me to understand the game better, just watching him, what he does in the football pitch.
We have come to the end of the news at 1. My name has been Michael Robert. International break has come up, so the EPL has taken a break. It is what it is. We wait until the 20th of October for more resumption of EPL games. My name has been Michael Robert. We close it off on there. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Younib.